Bijan Robinson is Dynasty running back 1. It is official. He has now gotten top 10 draft capital, which is just insane, man. Awesome. Going to the Atlanta Falcons, which, by the way, a running back with very little draft capital being replaced?
No way.
Crazy.
What?
Who would have told you this?
It's like we told you all offseason. Wow. Tyler Algier isn't worth crap.
I hope the Texans don't draft a running back too. Wow. Bijan Robinson, again, one of the best running back prospects that we've seen come out in the last few years, and now it's official. He has the draft capital. He's got the team situation. He's in a very good rushing offense with Arthur Smith, and he's coming in as a prospect that really doesn't have any weaknesses. He is workhorse size. He has great running skills. He has great twitch. He is fast. He has great receiving skills. I mean, there's really nothing Bijan Robinson cannot do. We're watching on the TV right now. He's getting his picture taken with a Falcons hat on. It's official. Yeah, and wow, we have seen this coming for months. But for him to get top 10 draft capital, I mean, a year after Breece Hall went in the second round, and we've seen how good Breece Hall is. What does this tell you about what these teams and what the Atlanta Falcons specifically are expecting of Bijan Robinson in his first year?
I think he's going to be the focal point of that offense. And yes, that is going to be more than Drake London and Kyle Pitts. I think you're going to have to wait. Maybe I'm overreacting a little bit, but we're going to have to wait probably another year at least for Drake London and Pitts to produce at really an elite or super high level. They're probably going to London, I would expect, is probably going to sit in that wide receiver 2 range pretty comfortably for maybe the foreseeable future, probably a while. That honestly, for his value, kind of sucks because he's such a good wide receiver. For Bijan Robinson, I think this is without question. We love Jonathan Taylor. We're the first to say that he's kind of being undervalued right now, but Bijan Robinson, Dynasty RB1, no question now with that draft capital. I mean, come on.
That is bananas. He has a round higher draft capital than JT, Kenneth Walker, and Breece Hall. I'll put Bijan in a tier of his own right now. I'm going that far. I'm sorry. Like, I love JT and I love Kenneth Walker. I mean, I really like Breece Hall.
Yeah,
he's barely 21.
Bijan is the number 1 running back in Dynasty fantasy football, and it's not close. And honestly, I mean, although he's being drafted close, and honestly, he's being drafted close to his ceiling. But I mean, the fact that the fact is he's going to maintain probably his draft capital because he's that good.
Yeah.
All right. What do you like most about Bijan Robinson, and what do you think we can expect from him in his first year from a points per game perspective? And this is interesting because we've actually had some conversations about this the last couple months.
Tyler Algier, the guy who just got replaced, drafted in the 5th round last year. So he was not a great prospect coming out. Put up 1,000 yards last year with 139 in the air. He had 10 fantasy points per game. I think Bijan gets an incredible workload in that offense. I think he could end up being, in his rookie year, putting up 1,500 yards on the ground, maybe another 400 or 500 in the air. Like, I know we're talking crazy here, but I think he could be the fantasy running back 1 reasonably. I could see, just like we saw Najee do 2 years ago, topping, top 5 running backs in fantasy. I think Bijan could honestly be the number 1 running back in his first year as a rookie. Like, flashbacks to Saquon.
I mean, with his receiving upside and then in the Falcons likely starting Heineke, Desmond Ridder, one of those two or a mix of them during the year, you're going to be looking at a lot of checkdowns to this guy specifically. In PPR leagues, man, that you are golden.
Yeah,
Bijan Robinson.
I think we look at him to score between like 17 to 23 points per game. And I don't even feel bad about saying that high.
Not at all.
Yeah.
I completely agree with you. From a Dynasty class of 2023 rookie perspective, Anthony Richardson, we already established, is definitely going to be in that S tier with Bijan Robinson, with Bijan going 8th overall. Now, do you think that changes your perspective, or do you think AR still has a chance to even... Do you think it's
in a
still
Superflex league?
league.
I think I'd give Bijan, if I had to assign a number 1, I'd give it to Bijan Robinson. Obviously, a running back coming in with top 10 draft capital, you have to acknowledge
he's not going to fail.
However, I mean, we've seen Anthony Richardson now; he has top 5 draft capital, and he got the best situation in the top 5. I mean, I'm still putting them both in that tier, but Bijan, anybody taking Bijan, you're making the right choice.
Yeah.
And anybody taking Anthony Richardson, you're making the right choice.
But so at the 101, you're still thinking hard.
I'm still thinking hard.
You're still thinking
but
hard.
Bijan, I mean, I want me some Bijan shares, and everybody's going to.
Yeah, me too.
So I mean,
Yeah.
I want to have shares of both of them, but yeah, absolutely. There's not a ton to say about this one, honestly. We've talked endlessly about BIJAN Robinson, and if you're not familiar with him and you're watching, and you're newer to Dynasty, BIJAN Robinson, he's been heralded as this prospect for many months now. He has been called a generational prospect. He's somebody that has come in now and gotten top 10 draft capital, which in this day and age for running backs is extremely high. Now he is the number 1 running back in Dynasty fantasy football and maybe in redraft fantasy football as well. So it'll be really interesting to see what. Yeah, the Eagles just drafted Jalen Carter. That's insane, man.
Drops into their lap.
It'll be interesting to
Completely
see
unfair.
Bijan's career play out. It's probably going to be a really fun one to watch. So, all right, we're still doing these. The draft is live. We are doing these live. So make sure you like this and make sure you subscribe if you haven't. We are going to be back here in just a few minutes after the next. Who knows who the next pick will be, man? It's got to be JSN, right?
I hope so. I really hope so.
All right, we'll be back in just a minute. We'll see you guys later.